Welcome to Real Estate Investing with Alex Deacon. Alex, how are we doing today?
Adam!
Alex!
I'm doing very good, young man.
Alex.
I can say that because you are quite younger than me.
Not that much.
40.
40?
40, I'm 53.
Yeah, it's not
You're
that
a
much.
man.
Lucky
I
13.
got 13 years on you, buddy.
Yeah. So, all right, Alex, we just came off of a nice little hiatus. We taped our last episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And now we're going to move into the last episode. It was how to quickly find and evaluate your next real estate deal. Now we're moving on to investment options, commercial, residential, multifamily, etc.
Etc. That's where the money. That's the money.
It's the
shot
power
right there.
Yeah. That's where all the boss moves are. So before we get into anything, quick plugs. Find us online. All your social medias at Alex Deacon. Subscribe to this very podcast on your favorite podcasting service, and search for us online at dhrea.com or pittsburghpropertymanagement.com.
Yes.
Correct.
Very good.
There we go.
Yes.
Go. All plugs for you.
So what are we discussing today? The etc.
The etc. of the investment options.
etc. Investment options. There are so many. That's the beauty about real estate is there is so many options, so many different ways to go, so many arms that come from learning the residential side, and then you get a taste of maybe the multifamily side, then you get a taste of the commercial side. Depending on your personality, you might like one over the other.
Great.
Personally, I never had a lot of exposure to commercial or industrial, so I never gone in that direction.
Okay.
And now, now that I'm at the age I am and knowing what I know, I kind of stay in my lane.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I wouldn't, venture off into something different. It's just I would want to have someone. See, in my case, I always let the average investor when I teach these workshops and such, I say find a mentor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would need to find a mentor.
Okay.
Maybe one that's just head and shoulders above what I do now, or one in a different real estate realm, which would be commercial, industrial, things like that. Partner up with someone like that. Find the deal and partner up with someone who's done storage units or has done mobile home parks. I don't know that market.
Right.
And for me to learn it and take that risk, it's always about managing the risk and knowing what the risk is and knowing what the upside is. And when you don't know what the risk or the upside is because you don't know the market, how can you properly evaluate it?
All of a sudden, it's raising your risk, and that's what you're trying to minimize.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So where did you want to start? Do you want to start commercial, residential, multifamily? Do you want to start at the etc.?
Yeah, we could
the
talk.
The floor is yours, no man.
Oh well, then be quiet and just listen. So we can discuss. We'll discuss the ones I know least amount about first. And that would be the etc.
And I guess just to double down on that, it's not necessarily that is there, well, I don't want to assume anything. Is there more risk attached to any of these over another, or is the risk the same? It's just knowledge.
The risk is the lack of knowledge.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So it's always based on knowledge first and foremost than anything else.
The knowledge and experience.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, probably the least thing I know about anything about, believe me, there's a lot I don't know. But I know very little about industrial. Like, I wouldn't know where to start buying a steel mill or buying some, massive storage facility warehouses. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what the market. I don't know what the rental market is. I don't know what the vacancy rate is. I don't know how to account for expenses, for management costs, for repairs. I don't know it. So I guess we can go on to the next, right? So that's just one option. There's commercial, which is, offices or retail or shopping centers or strip malls. I don't know a whole lot about that area either. I do personally own a couple very small. I own like a dentist office, and it's just an office, and I rent it to a dentist, so it's just an office. And but I don't own any other types of commercial real estate. I know you can become extremely wealthy in industrial or commercial. There's probably some major players out there that you'd want to get in touch with. But those are just, if I would have had some exposure to that, if I would have not been a residential real estate agent, maybe I jumped into commercial, then I would have gone that way. But I've never had the exposure to it, therefore I've never gone into it. But you always have that option, which is great.
Now, do you think it would? I think the best way to phrase what I'm really trying to say, I'm thinking of the best words to use, and I'm probably not going to find them. So, would it? Do you think right now, because you've been on the residential side so long, if you sacrifice some of your time just to learn commercial or industrial or what have you, would it then in turn affect your residential business?
My heart's not in it, so yeah, it definitely would affect. I can't say I'm laser focused because I'm not as focused as I should be, but because I still let distractions control my life, and that's bad if you want to be successful. But I would probably never jump into anything other than what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Because I'm cool with it. I enjoy it. I want to get better at it. I know that I'm light years away from being a master at what I do, and that's how you have to look at it. Once you say to yourself, I know everything in this business, you're going to start stepping backwards. You're going to start stepping, people are going to start moving ahead of you because you think you know it all, and you're never going to know it all. So no, I'm cool with where I'm at. So this commercial industrial, I have some experience with like raw land, which would be like more developing, right? Because to buy raw land, it's extremely difficult because it takes a long time to get from raw land to an industrial park or a commercial complex or a residential community home or an apartment complex. It takes a long time, and it takes a lot of money and planning, and there's a lot of no's, because you got to go through bureaucratic council. You have to go through boroughs and townships and all their council stuff, and it's insane. That's where a lot of people make mistakes, and they jump into that just looking at the upside, because there's a lot of profit to be made on that side, but there's so many hurdles, and I've seen it, that I just refuse to jump into that unless I can manage my risk, so the risk is ultra low and my upside is ultra high. But just the things you run into in raw land development is the cost is insane, right? I know a developer and a builder is very good at what he does, and just how the numbers have doubled in 15 or 20 years, just the cost.
Wow.
Like, this is ballpark. And believe me, you don't want to take this to the bank, but I just remember when I was somewhat involved in a development, it was about $26,000 per developable lot is what it would cost.
Right.
That's to put the roads in, the infrastructure, the sewers, the gas lines, having electricity at each lot, storm sewer that's managing your runoff water, asphalting the roads. It was like $26,000 to $30,000 a lot per lot. That doesn't include the cost of the land. And I talked to a gentleman recently, and like I said, he's very well versed in this. He's done a lot of it. It's more than double that now. Yeah, so just imagine. So if you're doing a 40 home development, just budget $60,000 a lot. That's $2.4 million. Plus the cost of the land. I don't know what that's going to be. Maybe another $1 million. Okay, $3.5 million. And just imagine the holding costs on that. And that's just developing the land. Now you have to sell those lots to either like a Ryan Homes or Miranda Homes. Those are two local large builders that we have. Or you individually sell them to custom home builders. Like you might get four custom home builders that say, I'm going to build in your community. I'm committed to buying 2 lots. So maybe they buy 8 lots and they get you started. Anyway, it's super, super expensive, and there's so much to learn. That's why I've never gotten into it. One, it's cost prohibitive. I can't get into that.
Right.
I don't have that kind of cash.
Is it more of a long game with that too?
Yeah, because all your profit, and believe me, this is just me talking just from the limited knowledge that I have. But a lot of your profit's at the end. So when you do a development, it could be 2 years to get it off the ground, and then another 2 years to sell out phase 1, and then maybe all your profits in phase 2, which is 4, 5, 6 years away, and that's when you start getting your money that you can spend it.
Right. Yeah.
That's like expendable money. But in the meantime, you're not making anything. So that's where patience and just the appetite for that risk and that waiting. You have to have that in you because it'll drive some people crazy. I mean, it'll stress them out.
I wouldn't say that's.
You have to have an appetite for it. So the other options are that's developing raw land, and we could talk about just buying raw land and waiting for it to appreciate. That's a potential investment too. It's just you have to have ultra patience for that, and you have to tie up money just for a long time with no return.
And wouldn't it be somewhat similar because you still... Well, okay, is there an advantage of one over the other, whether it's just raw land or holding on to raw land just to eventually sell it off again?
Yeah, I mean, if you get any investment at the right price, and the price is just... You can't...
Right. There is no...
It's an opportunity you can't pass up.
Right.
And you can hold on to it for 10 or 20 years, and it's not going to be a problem with the holding costs. Then it's going to be a good investment because the land's all 99 times out of 100, it's going to go up.
Right.
Sometimes extensively, right? We just don't know. Are they building a major highway through this tract of land, and then all of a sudden, now you have access to it, where before it took you 20 minutes to get there, now it's going to take every person 5. That makes a major impact. Utilities, are they there now? Are they coming?
Right.
So... the thing I talk about the most is what I know, and that's single-family residential and multifamily, which I have a lot of experience in, up to 15 units. But once you get up to 5 units or 15 units or 50 units, it's not much different. Other than when you get into a larger building, you're going to have different infrastructure like, sprinkler systems, and you're going to have potentially elevators. You're going to have things like that I don't have much experience with. Rooftop, HVAC, you're going to have some different numbers that you have to plug in there, but it's not rocket science. I could look at a 50-unit building and probably talk to a couple of people and come up with some good numbers and make an offer and feel comfortable with it.
Right.
So I know the residential multifamily, and that's what I tend to help people with because that's the area of real estate that I know and I'm comfortable with. And I'm confident when I tell somebody that, I feel good about it because I know I've helped them because it's coming from a place of a lot of experience and a lot of deals and a lot of mistakes and a lot of successes. So those are the options that I see in the real estate world. I'm sure there are plenty of other ones, like selling mortgages and buying mortgages and lending, and there's I'm sure a bunch of other things that I'm not covering. These are all the ones that most people see. That's commercial, industrial, residential, multifamily, raw land developing.
Good deal. All right, let me see. I think on this one, this is a nice quick little bullet point episode.
Yeah, it was.
Very quick, very digestible, I think,
I'm right
for all
to
the
the
great
point.
listeners out there.
Let's get it out there, man.
All right, guys. Quick refer to all of the plugs I mentioned earlier. Website, social media, meetup.com. And Alex, you can email him at alex@alexdeacon.com if you wanted to touch base with him about some sort of networking. I think that's it, guys.
That's it. Covered it for today.
All right, guys. So be sure to subscribe. Make sure you find us on all your favorite podcasting sites. Find us on the webs. We thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.